Morning, everyone. I'm back. We did have some quail visit and a little hummingbird that I saw. I don't know if you all got to see that. The little hummingbird like zoomed right by the phone. Cute little thing. The hummingbird loves the honeysuckle. Here I have my honeysuckle plants. They're all in bloom right now and smell glorious. And this is my mosaic that I created, and it's of the Sandia Mountains with a cloud bank over the top of that, and then the sunrise over the top of the clouds. So you can't see the whole thing because the honeysuckle is like pretty much enveloping it, but I love the honeysuckle, so I just kind of let it do its thing. I do kind of keep it trimmed to see some of the mosaic. But anyway, I just wanted to put the camera out this morning, see if we could catch some little birdies, and saw a couple there. I'll do a quick pan. It's a little hazy this morning over the Sandia Mountains. Usually this time of day, the sun comes over them, which is facing east, so it shades them. But in the evenings, the sun starts to set, it illuminates them. So kind of have a prettier view as the day goes on. And then just kind of a pan of the garden. I don't know if any of you were with me the other night. I put the vincas in my garden bench towers. So they're doing well. I got the blocks up that face south because we get those strong south winds. And I want to break the wind. They'll probably be up for about a month until the vincas get a little more root bound and stronger and bigger, and then they can handle the winds that come across from the south. But we put those up to protect them because the winds here can be really strong and they can take a beating. So, and we got the Vego garden enclosed with the little screen room to keep the bugs out and the moths that lay the eggs that have the worms on my lettuce and broccoli and stuff. So everything is coming along. I can't believe next week is June. It's just, this year is just, is really flying by, and it'll be fall before we know it. So, I always look forward to gardening season. This year I really enjoyed my winter break. But gardening season came right on time, and a little early actually for me this year. In March we were facing 80-degree temperatures, and then April came and it cooled off, and we had snow April 1st, and then another snow mid-April, and then now we're getting nice comfortable temperatures right now in the 80s during the day. And but I know that's probably going to end soon. Once we get into June and July, we'll get up into the 90s, possibly hundreds. So, but everything is like just thriving and growing really well. And I like to, as you can see, my wall there. Most people like a nice manicured, wall separating the patio, but I'm very much into kind of a wild cottage garden. So those are not weeds that are there. Those are actually baby cosmos and coreopsis. So they're going to grow really big and tall and be pinks and whites and, the darker maroonish pink color. And what happens is I had one cosmo there one year and it reseeded. And every year new ones grow and they reseed. And so I just let them do their thing. And I think it's just like really pretty. So by late July into August, they'll be up pretty tall, probably like up where the honeysuckle is, and really blooming all pinks and stuff. And then I've had hollyhocks there, the big hollyhock, and that kind of reseeds itself. And little baby hollyhocks come up, and yes, they aren't in the garden, but that's okay with me because I think it just adds character to my patio, kind of like that little hollyhock right there. So there's a ton of cosmos in near the bird bath area. You can see them there on the ground in front of the bird bath, that green. Those are baby cosmos. Those are all coming up too. So I'm going to have a lot of cosmos this year. So I'm super excited. Last year I had some white there on the where the bird bath is. So I think those are probably going to be white cosmos. But I can't believe, like I said, it's going to be June next week. And once the heat comes, really gets kicking into high gear, which it is now in the 80s, that's when things they put on their growth and take off. There's no more cold nights in the 40s and stuff like that, so things just really, they take off. In the xeriscaping there in the rocks, same thing there. Those are cosmos and coreopsis. So they look like weeds, but they're not. And so we'll be seeing their show when they bloom later as well. But I have pictures, if you go to my TikTok gallery, of these areas last summer, and you could see all that was there and what had bloomed and stuff. So we won't even be able to see kind of like the ground over by the fence once everything is up, because everything gets tall. Cosmos get tall, coreopsis get tall. They're like almost 3 feet tall. So it'll kind of be this big wall of color, and it'll block out the dirt and the sand down there. I don't grow anything down there, the rest of my property, because we pay for water here. We have city water, and it's expensive, and it's very hard to keep things irrigated and moist here because of the arid air and stuff. So I just basically work in my patio area and then the xeriscaped area that you see. And then I like lots of containers, as you can see. I love container plants because they just kind of add some charm to the patio and stuff. So, and then you can move them. Like, say if they're not happy, they are in a spot where it's maybe too hot or too much sun, then you can move them to a shady spot, which is nice, So I have my topiary here and my geraniums and some little petunias there. Japanese maple trees. My Japanese maples, they're kind of struggling right now. They were in my greenhouse. They leafed out like around February, March, but then it got really hot and they crisped up. So I brought them inside to my home, put them under a light, and then they would drop their leaves. I'm like, okay, they're not happy. So I put them back outside. So we're going to see if they can put on some more leaf foliage and see if they'll come back for me. So I have this one here, and then I have that one in that black pot there in the back. They're hard to grow here. Again, everything is, they're very sensitive. They crisp up on their leaves because it's just too dry here. And then I started some vincas and delphiniums down in those little milk jugs. I took the tops off because they're getting hot, and I'm going to actually transplant those probably tonight, this evening, after I get done watering. I always like to transplant in the evening when it's cool. That way it doesn't shock the babies. And then I have my other potted geraniums and stuff. But yeah, it's nice having a little patio, and you can just do so much with containers and fill them up. And then once they start blooming all summer, it's really, really delightful to look at and stuff. So we're in the early stages right now, but I'll do more lives as we go on.